Hello friends, this is the next episode in the GIS series. Here we are going to discuss about the electronic way of managing the solid waste. In the last episode we had seen how groundwater activities can be monitored and how it can be coordinated using GIS. In this episode we are going to see managing solid waste the E-way, that is the electronic way of solid waste management. So, solid waste is a major problem with all local bodies and local civil bodies, because a lot of solid waste has been generated due to the change in lifestyle, and the solid waste management is a basic essential service provided by local governing bodies in the country to keep urban centers clean. So, that we know, that is the solid waste management is a major problem and the civic bodies are taking care of that, because the cleanliness of any city is a necessity and the governing bodies are taking care of that, because it is a basic essential service. But when we see the statistics of the total waste that has been generated and the total waste that is being treated, so we can see that there is a major gap, because presently only 70 to 80% of waste is collected. So, what happens to the rest? That is a major question. So, 70 to 80% is collected while only 22% is treated. So, we know that there is a major difference in the waste that is being produced. There are biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste, and this solid waste part comes in the non-biodegradable waste, and that is why it has to be collected and it has to be treated. That becomes a necessity. So, this statistics is to be kept in mind, that is only 70 to 80% waste is collected and only 22% is treated. So, now we will see how GIS can help in this, how solid waste management can be effectively carried out using GIS, and what is the role of GIS or geoinformatics as a whole in doing that, and that is why we are seeing that the electronic way of solid waste management. So, when we see that, we can say that is this can be done in 3 parts or in 3 steps. We can do that. The first and foremost thing is the GIS mapping of the bins, the collection bins, and of course the collection points. That is GIS mapping of bins and collection points. That is the first step or the first part in utilizing GIS for solid waste management. So, how that can be done? So, that we will see in detail. And the second step is GPS based vehicle tracker installation, the second part, and third is the attendance management system. So, attendance management of all the things that is involved, starting from the personnel and then the drivers and all the personnel who are involved in this. The first step, that is GIS mapping of bins, collection points, dumping points and dumping yard. So, that is what we will see in detail. So, we can see that there are the things that has to be mapped using GIS are the bins, collection points, dumping points and of course, the dumping yard. So, what can be done? First step is a comprehensive database for all solid waste management related assets through field survey and GIS mapping, including information of the following may be developed. That is, what are all the things that can be mapped? So, first thing is that is the development of a comprehensive database. So, we know that is GIS is utilizing a spatial database, the location information together with the attributes, and the combination of that then analysis of the same, that is yielding good results. That is why where we use GIS. So, in that case a comprehensive database for all solid waste management related assets. So, what are all those assets? That is what we will be seeing. So, how this can be done? How this database management or this database making can be done is through field survey and GIS mapping. So, what are all the things that has to be mapped? That is the following things may be included in that. The first is vehicles in link with device IDs and IMEI numbers. The first thing that can be mapped, because we will be mapping all the things that is associated, with the solid waste management. So, first is the vehicles that are involved in this, that is movement, the collection vehicles, the dumping vehicles, all these things. That is first is that is vehicles in link with device IDs and IMEI numbers. that is who are all using that, and the vehicles in that maybe the GPS unit may be there, and the personnel who are using the tabs, the mobile phones to which it has been added, like that. So, that is first one. The second thing that may be mapped using GIS is all routes, that is from the collection point to the dumping yard. So, all routes, all roads, all routes may be digitized, all routes may be GIS mapped. So, that is the next one. Then the collection points, that is from where the solid waste may be collected. What are all the collection points? So, it may be different for a panchayat, it may be different for a housing residential area, it may be different. So, like that. So, we have to keep in mind the number of people who are dwelling in different areas, and accordingly the collection points may be different. So, collection points including bin location. So, collection point means we may be having a point, a street address may be there, but the bin location should be correctly mapped, because otherwise that will include or that will incorporate a time lag in sometimes. So, the collection points, when we map that, including the bin location, that has to be mapped. And then comes the dumping ground associating with routes, the collection and dumping ground associating with routes, because the dumping ground is also important, because just like collection points, dumping ground is also important, because at a time more vehicles may go there and the dumping will become a problem, and again coming back of the vehicles will also be a problem. So, that should be mapped properly. Then of course, the drivers of the vehicles, because they are the people who will be carrying out the work efficiently. So, they must be monitored, or they must be in track. So, drivers, and then of course, the schedule, because that schedule part even without GIS we can do that. Even without GIS the schedule can be there, that can be monitored and all. But in this case, when we are utilizing GIS for this solid waste management activities, so schedule is important, because which vehicle should go first, which vehicle should go last, and what are all the timings. So, that should be known to everyone, because sometimes there are chances that one vehicle may go breakdown and that may affect the entire process. So, that should be monitored, and that should be the entire schedule should be known to everyone. So, that is why that kind of monitoring should be there, that kind of mapping should be done. Then the list of officials with phone numbers for triggering alerts if something goes wrong. So, they should be in a position, so that some kind of alerts may be there, and so that the entire process may be monitored properly. So, list of officials with phone numbers for triggering alerts should also be kept. So, that should be the GIS mapping means it should be there. Of course, it may be part of that attribute data that we are having in the GIS platform. Then the list of staff members along with the reporting and area details. So, that means the staff members along with the reporting and area details, that is for attendance management, because for a large area it may be necessary, that is a group of people, a group of drivers under a particular person who will be monitoring that group, then 2 or 3 groups will come under another person, like that. Then comes the schedule of field staff. So, how field staff is being supplied or they are delegated. So, that schedule of field staff is another thing. So, we can see that. So, in the first part we have actually the spatial mapping is for the mapping bins, the bins, the collection bins, and then the collection points, then dumping points, then dumping yard, and also the routes, the different route, the exact routes should be mapped. So, that is part of the spatial data. Then the rest of the things that we have seen here, that are all coming as a part of the attribute data, but we know that these are all related, and that is where we will be utilizing GIS properly, because GIS can handle both spatial data as well as attribute data. So, both these data sets we cannot separate, because they are very much associated also, and that is how we will be utilizing GIS in this case. So, the first step is this GIS mapping of bins, collection points, dumping points, and dumping yard. Then comes the second part, which is also very important, and that is nothing but the installation of GPS based vehicle trackers in waste collection and disposal vehicles. That is, the GPS based vehicle trackers have already come in traffic network, and this is the next step. In the next step, or in the solid waste management, we can bring that into the waste collection and disposal vehicles. That is, the GPS based vehicle trackers are brought into the waste collection and disposal vehicles. So, what is the benefit of that, or why we are thinking about that, or why that will improvise the GIS based technology for that is the solid waste management? Because we know that the collection and transportation of the huge amount of waste is a matter of concern for urban local bodies. That is, if for one day the waste being generated in a local body, if that is not carried away, if that is not carried to the dumping ground or dumping yard, so that will create a major problem for the whole city. So that is one of the major points that we have to keep in mind. Then we know that a large number of municipal and private vehicles are used for collection of waste. So there it becomes necessary, that is to use the GPS based vehicle trackers. Then the disposal process could be through a landfill program, burning place, or a waste treatment plant. So the vehicles that are used for these different places, that is, if it is used for a landfill program or a burning place or the incinerators what we will be using, or a waste treatment plant. So the different types of vehicles may be used, or different types of vehicles may be going to the places where the treatment of the waste is being done, or the dumping of the waste is being done, or the burning of the waste is being carried out. So then all these vehicle trips require route planning as well as real time monitoring to ensure that the whole operation is done in efficient manner. That is where, that is, the vehicle trips, different vehicles may be coming, different trips may be coming, different vehicles may be coming from different routes, and there should not be any confusion about that, which one should go first and which vehicle may be going to which part, whether they are going for the landfill program or the other vehicle is going to the burning place or simply to the waste treatment plant. So different vehicles are going, and the trips that require route planning, because otherwise it will create a chaos. So that should be avoided. So that real time monitoring is also important, thorough route planning should be there, and a real time monitoring of the vehicle should also be there, and that is where the installation of this GPS based vehicle trackers will help in a major way. Then if we use these two things, that is, first is the GIS mapping of the bins, the collection points, the dumping yards, dumping areas and all, and then the vehicle trackers are used, GPS based vehicle trackers are installed. So how that is going to improve the entire system, or what are all the capabilities? If we do these two steps, what capabilities are brought to the system? That is, first is the real time GPS tracking of the waste pickup vehicle, that will be there, that is real time GPS tracking of the waste pickup vehicle. That is first thing, definitely, because that is why we are using this GPS trackers to the vehicles. Then second thing is the route optimization. So what do you mean by that? Route optimization means leading to the, so when we optimize a particular route, that is carrying the maximum, that is in a single route itself we can collect maximum waste, and that can be brought to the appropriate plant, whether it is the incinerator or the dumping yard, whatever it is, or the treatment plant. So the route optimization will lead to reduction of time, saving in fuel, and serving more locations. So route optimization can be done. So how this GPS tracking and the GIS mapping is helping is because everything is clear. The map is there and it is GPS connected. So the people who are monitoring can easily understand that, okay, this particular vehicle is going, that is they are disposing the waste in time, and they are going in the exact route also, and if there is any confusion, that can be monitored real time. And then the another capability of the system is that dynamic management of routes and vehicles through an automated system. That is, the manpower can be reduced. If it is completely automated, then the dynamic management of routes and vehicles through an automated system. That is just like for traffic we are using this GPS, and we know that when we are going to an unknown place, when we put a message, that is what is the that is from our starting point to the destination, what is the distance. If we ask, the system will say, okay, this much is the distance. And if you are going through a junction which is very congested or very heavy traffic is there, the system will tell us that, okay, if you go there, there will be a traffic jam for 3 or 4 minutes. So like that, even if it is completely automated, the dynamic management of routes and vehicles can also bring into this system also, the solid waste management system also. Then monitor and manage the waste collection bins. So monitoring and managing the waste collection bins will also be equipped, or that will also be easy if we are using this automated system which is using GIS and GPS, because the waste collection bins should be properly taken away, and the substitute may be put in place, so that whether that has been done or not, so that can be easily monitored. Then comes the real time management of missed garbage collection points. That is, if suppose a new driver is there, or due to some confusion, if one point is missed or one garbage collection point is missed somehow, So, that can be easily managed, because the person who is monitoring this, or if it is a automated system also, that is what is the next route or what is the next vehicle that may be going through that area or the nearby route. So, that can be diverted through this particular garbage collection point, and so that it is not missed. So, real time management of that missed garbage collection points, if any, that can also be managed. Then that will ensure the complete coverage of door to door and community collections served by vehicles. If what are all the door to door collections if required, and community collections are also there, that is just like, and that is why we have already told that the GIS mapping of all these points is a must, or in the first step we are doing that. That is the complete coverage of door to door and community collections served by vehicles, that can be easily managed, or complete coverage is ensured, and that is another capability of the system. That is when we bring in the GPS trackers to the vehicles which are taking away the solid waste from the collection points to the dumping yards. So, how that data structure can be, that is the data structure can be the garbage collection points and dumper GIS, or the dumper GIS data structure can be different, it can be ended, or that can be in a different way, but if that is having a general code, that is the attribute name can be general, and the attribute field name can be there, and the attribute field type what should be that, and attribute field width can be there, and the description. So, if you are keeping an attribute table with a common data structure, so that will be easy to follow for the entire system. That is a garbage collection point ID can be there, and a code may be assigned to that, and the ward number, if it is, let it be the panchayat or the municipality or a corporation, a ward number will be there, and then the road ID, that is through which road they are going. So, if a road ID is there, then the road name, if some road names are there, then it will be easy, that is many roads may be named after some a politician or some other people, like that a road may be named through, that is in the name of that is people. So, that road name can also be taken into consideration, and then the locality name may be included. Then the type of garbage, what type of garbage is being carried, that is whether they degradable or that is non-degradable, whether if it is a medical waste, so that should be separately carried. Then the different types, the status of garbage collection point, that is whether that has been done, that the collection has already been done for that particular point, that is status of that is garbage collection point, whether that has been already done or not, or if two vehicles have to go there, two vehicles have to go there and collect the thing, or one is enough, or whether the garbage collection is being carried out in that particular point twice a day or only once in a day. So, that kind of things, the status can be there. So, this kind of data structure may be made for the entire system, I mean for the entire collection points. So, that will help in, so when all the people are following the same thing. So, then the monitoring of this, the data, and that is entry of the data is also easy, and the entire system will become very easy. The management of the entire thing will become easy. Then the same for the landfill sites and dumping yard. So, what could be the GIS data structure? So, again same thing, there is the attribute name may be there, attribute field name may be there, attribute field type can be there, attribute field width can be there, and some description or some remarks can also be added. So, landfill, the dumping yard point ID. So, what is the dumping yard point ID? Code may be there, if some subclass within a single dumping yard, whether we have some subclasses, like some kind, a particular kind of waste is moved to some, say, northeast, the other part is in the northwest, like that. So, that then from which ward it is coming, the ward number, road ID, the same part, that what we have seen in the previous case, the road ID, road name, locality name, name of the landfill, the dumping yard, or I mean name of the landfill site or the dumping yard. So, in that way we can have a general landfill sites and dumping yard GIS data structure. So, the same code, the same kind of code may be there. So, it is easy to understand whether that is, suppose in a municipality if some 50 wards are there. So, whether from all the wards the waste has been collected for the day or not, is there anything missing, or whether from a single ward whether twice in a day it has to be collected. So, it can be easily understood when we are giving this kind of data structure, this kind of attribute data. So, when we follow a particular code, it is easy to manage. Then Then what are all the other capabilities of the system? When we follow this system, what are all the other capabilities? One is that the monitoring and tracking of other municipal corporation vehicles under solid waste management department. That is, when we are putting this GPS vehicle trackers, so monitoring and tracking of other municipal corporation vehicles under solid waste management department. Solid waste management department may be having different vehicles, and municipal corporation vehicles may be utilized or private vehicles may be hired. So, everything can be brought under a single umbrella, and we can see that how they are, whether they are doing the work or whether simply they are moving around. So, that can be there. Then record history of vehicle routes, attended sites and other details. That is, how many vehicles have gone through the same route, whether that was necessary or that can be diverted. And then the attended sites, how many attended sites are there? Is there any sites which has gone missed or that has not attended properly? Then the RFID data to ensure offloading of complete bin. That is, offloading of the complete bin has already been taken place or not. So, for that the RFID data can be utilized. Then alert and alarms are included in the system in case of any breach of defined activities and timing. So, suppose some problem is there with the timings, whether that is not properly carried out. So, alerts and alarms can be there, and there is a provision for that. Alert and alarms can be given to the concerned persons, and the higher authorities can do that. So, such a facility may also be included in the system. So, that will help in case of any breach of defined activities and timing. Then another chance is that monitoring and reporting application, that is, robust reports of vehicles, garbage collection status, bin status, route deviation, etc. That is real time application, real time reporting can be easily done. So, monitoring and reporting application can be included. So, that will help in reports, that robust reports of vehicles, garbage collection status, whether it has been collected or not, or after collection that vehicle has got some problem, then bin status, whether that has been loaded, offloaded or not. Then route deviation is due to any particular problem in the road can also be caused to a deviation in the route also. So, that can also be a message or that can also be communicated properly. Then reporting of vehicles, garbage collected and other details to higher authorities from any location at any time. That is the real time monitoring, and real time reporting can be there. That is each person who is involved in that, he can report to the higher authorities directly. There is no need of any kind of hierarchical thing. That is, the driver should report to his next higher authority, like that. It can be taken that is anytime, anywhere, this can be reported. So, it can be a two-way communication system that can be developed. Then monitor and track the activities of field staff force. That is, monitor and track the activities of field staff force through attendance management system. That is another, the third step that we will be doing, that is the monitor and track the activities of field staff force through attendance management system. And so, why do we do that is reduced human intervention in monitoring process. So, that can also be there. So, when we automate this, human intervention will be reduced. So, in the monitoring process, the whole thing can be automated in a very short span of time, and that will reduce the human intervention. And the next part what we will be doing is, the next step is nothing but that is the attendance management system, how that can be done. So, that is in the case of attendance management system, that is it is nothing but it is implementation of a field attendance management system. And why do we do that? That gets data from the biometric based mobile attendance device, and that will capture the presence of field staff with biometric identification and authentication. That is to make it sure that the concerned person has come, and that is he has not substituted anyone, and the work is being carried out by the person himself. So, for that a biometric controlled attendance management system can be there. So, that is the implementation of a field attendance management system. That is, here the data is collected from a biometric based mobile attendance device. The person can carry that, or at a particular point en route we can keep that, and the person can put their attendance over that. So, that will capture the presence of field staff. That is, it is a kind of, that is nothing but that is in the offices it has already been started, and for the field also that kind of attendance management is being carried out. So, that is the last step or the third step for that. Then why that attendance management system is required, or what are all the key features of that? First thing is of course the attendance management, that is easy management of the attendance, and then comes the detailed employee records. It is not that a person is coming and the second day he is going, means it will not be proper. So, with the biometric system, that is the entire records will be there. So, if that person is moving somewhere, so we can collect the details can be collected easily. So, and the detailed employee records will be there in the entire process for the entire system. That is the next advantage. And the third thing is tracking the working hours, that is how many hours the people are working. So, whether that is up to the mark or not. So, that is tracking the working hours is another important thing. Then track the field force, check in and check out hours, that is when the people are coming for the work and when they are going away. That is check in and check out time can be easily tracked, that is the field force check in check out time can be monitored or that can be tracked. Then of course, and that will provide the start and end working hours definitely, and but it is not necessary that everyone may be starting at the same point of time or not. So, that can easily be monitored. Then for searching the staff, that is also easy, that is which person at a particular point of time where this particular person will be. So, in the schedule may be there, or if they are following the schedule, it is easy, and with the vehicle trackers we can easily identify where this particular vehicle will be there and who are all the staff members assigned to that particular vehicle. So, searching for staff is also important. Some redistribution may be required at that particular time. It is not it will not be a huge task to search the staff and communicating to them. So, for that search staff this will be an added advantage. Then for a detailed view, just clicking on staff, that will give us a detailed view, because the attendance management system is providing a biometric controlled system and all details are associated. And then comes the reports, for downloading the reports for historical activities, what this particular person has done, or A or B or C, what they were doing yesterday, or for the entire month, how many hours they have worked, what were their duty, whether they were following the same route or if they need any kind of relocation. So, that everything can be easily understood, and the reports can also be downloaded also. So, in this way the attendance management system is easily identified. I mean the attendance management system is very good in keeping these two parts, that is first is the GIS collection, GIS mapping of the bins, then second is GPS vehicle trackers are included, and third part is the attendance management system. So, why GIS is okay for this is because GIS can handle both spatial data, that is first part is of spatial data, and of course, the data being collected with the GPS enabled vehicle tracker is also bringing more spatial data. And then we have seen that there is a different data structure, that is for dumping yards, for collection points and all. The attribute data that is being generated, the database being generated is also there. So, the spatial data and the attribute data set being generated can easily be handled, and the attendance management system that can be both spatial and attribute, because at a particular point of time where a particular person is there, where a particular vehicle is there. So, real time monitoring can also be carried out using GIS. So, in this way we can efficiently make, or we can efficiently bring a makeover to the solid waste management system. That is electronically we can say that it is the electronic way of solid waste management. That is when we bring the geoinformatics technology or the GIS technology together with the GPS and all. So, we can say that it is the electronic way of solid waste management. So, this can be achieved through bringing in the GIS technology for solid waste management, which is otherwise a major task for all civic bodies. So, this will be benefiting, or this will bring a mutual benefit for the population and also for the administrators who are there at the decision making end. So, in this way we can say that the e-way or the electronic way of solid waste management can be achieved through GIS, GPS and allied disciplines, which we call, or which we bring under a single umbrella, that is geoinformatics. So, that is about now, that is this episode was about this e-waste management or e-way, electronic way of managing solid waste. So, that is for now. Thank you for watching.